April 2025. Markets are on edge. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is silent, but the pressure is mounting. Tariffs, inflation, politics. The big question, is the Fed preparing to intervene? Since his April 4th speech, Chair Powell has avoided further public comments. But that silence is loud, especially as President Trump's aggressive tariff campaign unfolds. In that April 4th address, Powell warned that tariffs could ignite inflation, while simultaneously slowing growth. A dangerous combination. He made it clear the Fed won't overreact. Short-term volatility won't dictate long-term policy. Still, he acknowledged the risk that inflation might not be temporary, and that, he said, calls for patience and careful monitoring. While Powell stays quiet, economists aren't. Here's what the experts are saying. Interest rates. Rates have held steady at 4.25 to 4.50% since January. But Wall Street is betting that could change by June. Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan both see a rate cut as increasingly likely, but only if the data justifies it. Inflation risks. Consumer prices are creeping up. J.P. Morgan estimates tariffs alone could add 1% to inflation and shave 0.3% off GDP in 2025. The political pressure. President Trump has openly called for rate cuts. But Powell has stood firm, reiterating that the Fed's independence is non-negotiable. He's not leaving before his 2026 term is up. What are the options on the table for the Fed? Scenario A. Holding rates steady. Controls inflation, supports the dollar, but may slow growth and weaken hiring. Scenario B. Cutting rates. Stimulates the economy and eases pressure on businesses, but risks unanchoring inflation expectations. Scenario C. Raising rates unlikely. It would send a strong signal against inflation, but increases the risk of recession and market backlash. Markets haven't taken the uncertainty lightly. Gold has surged past $3,000 per ounce. Bitcoin volatility has spiked as investors hunt for inflation hedges. And while the S&P 500 initially fell by 6% after Powell's April 4th remarks, the index remained highly volatile throughout the second week of April, with investors reacting sharply to every new tariff development and rate speculation. Powell's next speech is scheduled for April 16th. Will he drop new clues or hold the line? For now, the Fed is staying the course data over deadlines. And in a political year filled with uncertainty, that may be the most powerful message of all. Subscribe for more economic updates.